My name is Rahm Emanuel. I'm the White House Chief of Staff. I am the King of Chicago. Chicago, of course, is the homicide capital of America, but we've got our own national anthem. I'm also Chicago's supreme community organizer. I make my ex-aide, Al Capone, may he rest in peace, look like a choir boy. Today, to be perfectly humble about it, I am the most important man in the entire world. I control the President of the United States because I single-handedly put Barack Hussein, that's right, eat your hearts out, Barack Hussein Obama into the White House. Without me,
conversation with you where you spoke about Obama's health care plan today. Who are you and what are you doing here today?
Well, that was in my Rahm Emanuel suit. Now I'm in Mike Thompson's suit. And I'm concerned not only about this health plan, but I'm concerned about the entire unraveling of America and the Constitution that's occurring under Barack Obama, his czars, and all the other people, these bizarre characters he's assembled in his administration.
When you say czars, some people may not understand what you mean by czars.
Well, czars are people who rule by dictation. They're not people who are elected. We talk about the Tsar of Russia. We talk about the Tsarina, which is a female czar. And there's a historic record of czars who abuse their people. Never before in the history of the world has there been a government which literally claims it has more than 50 czars. These are all powerful dictators in the fields of medicine, the fields of manufacturing, the fields of banking, you name it, agriculture, everything. And these people are not interviewed by members of the Senate. They're not confirmed by the Senate. They're simply picked out of nowhere, and some of them are absolute communists. That is right. People who have been members of the Communist Party. They have been plucked from out of the pit of hell by Barack Obama and put in charge of every segment of America he can think of. This is more frightening than anything that has ever happened in our republic since its founding.
Well, when you talk about frightening, my question to you today, sir, would be this. In this past November's elections, we just had an election where they voted for change.
Right.
So is this not the change that the people wanted? I mean, he has a mandate. Do you not think he has a mandate to go ahead and bring Obama health care to the citizens of the United States?
I think, quite frankly, the problem with the changes is that nobody ever imagined in their wildest dreams that he would be pulling off the kinds of stunts that he is. And this guy is relentless. He's nonstop. Oh, sure, people wanted change. They wanted the war to end. They wanted the economy to get better, although it wasn't really that bad in comparison with what we have now. It's understandable. But change is so amorphous. Is it a change for good or a change for evil? The American people were trusting and good enough to think it was going to be a change for good. Never did they think it would be a change for evil, and that's what we're getting.
Well, I know you're in a rush to leave in a few minutes. You've done an outstanding job today in your portrayal. But my question now is, my goodness, do you not believe we need health care reform?
We need health care reform, but we need health care reform that is congruent with the Constitution and congruent with our cultural history. We need to have tort reform, which is a fancy word for saying we need to get lawyers out of patients' beds. We got too many lawyers who are causing too many doctors to have to pay outrageous premiums for malpractice insurance, $250,000, $500,000, multi-millions a year. And of course the patients are the one to whom that cost is passed along. We could cut the cost of medical care in America today by close to 1/3 if we were to have tort reform. But how do you have tort reform? How do you reform the lawyers when half the members of Congress are lawyers? How do you reform the law and get rid of lawyers jacking up the price of Medicare when you've got the Democratic Party getting most of its funds from trial lawyers. So it's a horrible situation. But one thing we can do to reform it immediately is to make it impossible to have these kinds of suits that only enrich men like John Edwards, the disgraced former senator of North Carolina. He became a multimillionaire off the misery of Americans by representing them on phony, fallacious claims and dazzling juries into making decisions for awards that were totally incongruent with whatever damages may have been done. That's one thing that can be done. But there are many others that don't require turning this country upside down and turning our lives over to Obama's czars.
Well, as a matter of record, I just want to be sure we ask this one last question. Are you part of the right-wing conspiracy to basically cause problems against the health care program that President Obama's offering today?
Well, you know, conspiracy is a criminal activity as well as a civil activity. It's one thing to conspire, for example, if you're trying to have a surprise party for your grandfather. That's a conspiracy. And then there are criminal conspiracies, and a criminal conspiracy is what we've got going on today in Washington. And it's a conspiracy involving Obama. It involves his Democrat Party. It involves liberal think tanks. It involves the news media. It involves a whole group of bad people who are basically Marxists, socialists, whatever you want to call them. We can't call them communists because legally the Supreme Court has ruled that you can call a person a communist only if he or she is a member of the Communist Party. Well, these people don't have to be a member of the Communist Party to be Marxists and socialists, and that's what they are. They represent the very worst in this world. If you look at what's going on in Cuba, what's going on in China with the killing off of two-thirds of the children who were born there, if you look at what's going on in Vietnam, if you look at what's going on even in old Russia, if you see what has been left behind in the wreck of socialist economies, why would anybody, particularly an American president, say, oh, we should become socialist? Well, that's exactly what he's saying. He doesn't use those words, of course, because he knows they're fighting words. But he knows exactly what Marxist socialism is. He's a practitioner. He has admitted it in his own 2 autobiographies. He talks, for example, about how he was careful to pick out the best Marxist professors when he was at Harvard and when he was at Columbia. What more do we need to know about this man? So the real conspiracy here is the one that involves the Marxists who are trying to destroy America. What we conservatives, what we traditionalists, and what most Republicans are doing is not a conspiracy. It's an effort to save our country by working together and answering the nonsense, the evil that is being produced by the Obama administration. That's what we're doing. That is not a conspiracy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for a great entertaining